Yo, what's going on, guys? Welcome back to another trade recap. I'm going to be going over the trade that I ended up taking today. I ended up taking two trades today. Both of them were sort of just stabs because of the obvious DOL at the time. But I'm not going to lie, guys. Like, New York AM session as of recently has just been straight poo. I'm not going to lie. But let's go over it anyway. So obviously coming into the higher time frame again, same as yesterday. Bullish towards these triple highs that we have going on. We have like these 4 hour equal highs above us here. Relatively equal anyway, basically equal. And then we have this 4 hour swing high inside of this range. Considering we were in a buy model, this is a high that I would want to target. Obviously, as you can see, we delivered off this 4 hour gap and then we moved higher. So with that in mind, obviously the next DOLs are looking pretty obvious and they're looking to be these internal highs that we have above us right here. Right. Now with that in mind, we did have CPI today, so we did have good targets lower as well, being data lows, London session, Asia, whatever, cool. They are pretty good DOLs, but again, I was leaning a lot more bullish, obviously, especially because of how CPI manipulated too. CPI essentially just manipulated and then moved higher, so yeah. Overall, coming into market open, I didn't really have a good condition, and this 15-minute for value gap was okay, but it was in a premium. And this is just kind of a gap that I'm not really a huge fan of, especially if you look at the price action within inside of this gap. It's just poo. There's not really any significant lows inside of the gap. It's kind of just chop. So it's kind of an insignificant gap in my opinion. But it was like an okay condition, I guess. I did set it as a condition going into market open, but it wasn't really a valid condition that I was kind of hoping for us to PO3 into. So with that in mind, let's go into market open and see what we end up doing. So market ends up opening lower here, and then we end up sort of just ripping lower into the range. So with this in mind now, we're inside this range here. We hit CE of the range, and I think we did have a reaction off of CE. Yeah, so we decided to get a slight reaction off of CE, and then this is where I ended up getting my first trade in. And it was simply just a short within a 4-minute gap. It was not like it was a discretionary short or anything. It's just that we were actively disrespecting this 15-minute gap, and now it was a very simple scenario of if this then that, and it was a disrespect versus disrespect. So I drew out my lower time frame range, because lower time frame ranges, I'm not gonna lie, what I've noticed with trading as of recently, especially journaling and just making videos all the time and talking about my thoughts, ICT this, ICT that, your strategy this, like for me, I feel the genuinely only important things when it comes to trading is one, a range, so how we react at certain levels in a range, so CE, OTE, etc. Your key level, so your key level being, for me, obviously for my key levels, I use fair value gaps. It doesn't really matter what you use for your key levels, as long as it's something got to do with that, something that makes sense, like a fair value gap, a CISD, or even order flow things. It doesn't even matter, right? As long as you have your key level. So the only things that matter in trading are your key level, how we react in ranges, so ranges, lower time frame and higher time frame ranges, and narrative. Narrative is like the biggest thing ever, and then of course, obviously, draw on liquidity being the most like kind of important thing under them all. Like the thing is, as of recently within my trading, like I've realized, like waiting for the highest time frame inversion, especially with the way I trade, I'm starting to like just like know through data that might not be optimal for the way I trade. I think I could definitely capitalize on getting much higher risk to reward on my trades by executing my trades simply on lower time frame displacement. Because for me, displacement is like the main thing. Like entry trigger, when it comes to your strategy, entry trigger is like something that really doesn't matter at all, in my opinion. Like, and that's definitely something I've just noticed over through trading and gaining market experience. Entry trigger is by far the least important thing about your trading. It's important, don't get me wrong, you need an entry trigger, but narrative, key levels, and ranges are, and of course, draws on liquidity are so much more significant than an entry trigger. And for me, excuse me, my entry trigger has always been taking the highest time frame inversion within the manipulation leg. And this would usually result in me getting a 1-to-1 RR. 1-to-1, 1-to-2 if I get lucky. But, like, as I trade more and as I notice more, and as I just journal, obviously, through YouTube as well, as I'm documenting my journey here, waiting for the highest time frame inversion within a manipulation leg is like, I don't know. I don't think it's the entry trigger I want to be using anymore. I think simply just looking for displacement, and this is why I'm going to buy the 30-second chart now. I'm going to buy lower time frame charts so I can be looking at 30-second inversions, 1-minute CISDs, 30-second CISDs. But like if we hit a key level here, like look at this, like, okay, we manipulate down into this range here, right? Let's have a look. So we come down, market opens lower, and then we open up a new lower time frame range within inside of this higher time frame range, right? So if we are going to be bullish within this range, what would you expect to happen if we retrace to CE of this higher time frame range, right? Like this, what would you expect to happen? Look, we have our range, whatever. We come down to CE, and then we go to retest a key level right here, being a 4 minute fair value gap in this case, which is also CE of the range, also CE of the gap. Like, look at how nicely this manipulation is, or this retrace is. It's beautiful. What would you expect to happen to this 4 minute? This. You'd expect the 4 minute to get absolutely ran through if we are going to be bullish. But if we see that we are currently respecting this 4 minute and we leave a huge rejection wick off CE of the gap and CE of the range, and then we displace lower, like, I'm really just thinking to myself, every time I go to take these trades, do I really need to wait for a 1 minute fair value gap to form and then get inversed just so I can enter my trade? Like, if we look at the 30 second here, I don't even have it. This is why I'm going to get it, don't worry. That's my fault that I don't have it, I'm going to get it. But if we look at the 30 second here, I guarantee you can see a huge, like, 30 second just slam down, disrespect, basically fuck you candle to the downside, inversing the 30 second gap within this area here. And like, that is by far enough for me to take this trade. Like, this entry right here is what I was thinking of taking this. Like, I really wanted to take this, but then I was also in the back of my head saying, oh, well, do you know what? Maybe I shouldn't take this because we haven't made the 1 minute gap yet. We hadn't inversed it yet, blah, 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 right? And if I did take this, because I knew this internal low, the second I seen that rejection wick, because I have my narrative now, right? I have my narrative. We came into the range, we made our lower time frame range inside the higher time frame range. The lower time frame 4 minute fair value gap is beating the 15 minute fair value gap. We have draws on liquidity lower, and ES was a lot lower down. So ES, like, data lows on ES was looking extremely obvious, like it was a lock. So we had the draw on liquidity, we had the narrative, we had the disrespect versus respect moment to actually move lower here. Why am I letting my entry model to wait for a 1 minute fair value gap to form and then get inverse? Why am I waiting for that? Why is that? That's hindering me. Like, even like I was actually like, I wanted to take this, but I was like, okay, let me just stick to my model, blah, blah, blah. Like, this isn't even not sticking to your model. Like, I think, like, my model for me at this point, like, it's not even that it's ICT. It's just narrative, price action, draw, liquidity, and ranges. And, like, bro, I really wanted to take this, but I didn't. Now, I'm not obviously crying about it. Like, I don't care. It's whatever. Who cares? But this is just moving forward. I'm going to be starting to take earlier entries, and my entry triggers are going to derive basically from simply just reaction and displacement. Reaction and displacement are the main things, especially as a continuation trader, that are the most important things about taking your setup when it comes to entry trigger. It's just simply reaction and displacement. That is what is proving your trade right. Not waiting for a fair value gap to open so it can get inversed. Like, I seen that this 1 minute fair value gap was going to open here, and I knew for a fact that this gap was 90% chance it was going to get inversed, like, without a shadow of a doubt. Like, look how this bearish candle closed after rejecting out of that 4 minute gap. Like, come on, it's so blatantly obvious. And then obviously we get the inversion there, and then this is where I ended up taking my first trade. But look at this. Look what happens to my risk to reward. It completely gets hindered. I want to target the low hanging fruit, and the low hanging fruit is a 0.5 hour trade, so I can't. So I have to drag my take profit to a 1-to-1 RR, and then I go break even here, and then I get break even, right? And now obviously this doesn't play out. However, if I simply just took the reaction, which I knew, the reaction and displacement that I knew was going to play out here, right? This would have been a TP, right? This would have been a take profit. Simple take profit. And of course, obviously, it just so happens that the risk to reward in this sense didn't really matter. But when we have like steeper retraces into ranges, and we get, like, for example, trades like this or whatever it may be, targeting this, for example, then as you can see there, that's where the RR really will start to shine, and these are more times than not kind of scenarios that do happen. So that was what I was kind of thinking today, and that's just something I've been journaling and looking over the past while, is that entry triggers and waiting for the highest time frame for value gap or inversion within a fair value gap is kind of silly. Because if you also think about it, right, if we just respected a 4 minute gap, a bearish 4 minute gap, and we're actively disrespecting a 15 minute gap, that's showing how strong bearish price action is. Why on earth would we ever respect this? Excuse me. Why on earth would we ever respect this little 1 minute gap right here? Is it significant? Is it going to send price moving higher again? No, right? So yeah, that's just something I've noticed and journaled. So obviously this is the first trade I took. It was simply just a 4-minute continuation with inside of the range. We had super good draws on ES, and ES was around here, and it was looking abundantly obvious that data lows was the draw on liquidity for today's session. And yeah, unfortunately I did get break even there before I hit my 1-to-1. And then we had another retrace into this 5-minute gap, which we actually ended up inversing. And then yeah, so we ended up inversing this 5-minute gap, and then I'm not going to lie, from here on out, it's just terrible. Like, the price action is just straight poo. The New York AM session as of recently, guys, I'm not going to lie, it's been terrible. And then we had some very strange candle here at 10:31. I'm pretty sure it was something that the president said that caused this to happen, which obviously happens, whatever, that's out of your control, nothing you can do. And I think at this point here at 10:31, which is when the S&P 500 ended up slamming down to data lows and ended up taking them out. But this is literally the entire session. Like, let's go over it. Look, let's go to 11 AM, just to where we stopped trading, where I stopped trading personally. It's 11. Like, look at this. Look at the 5-minute chart. Like, oh my god. Like, what is this? Genuinely, what is this? And then we look at sessions like Asia. Okay, to be fair, Asia yesterday was not that good, but we look at Asia prior. Like, let's look at Asia yesterday. Like, even I went over it. Like, Asia yesterday, amazing. Look at London, beautiful. London looks great, looks fine. Look at New York. Like, New York genuinely just looks like straight ass. Like, it looks terrible. So I've also going to get a little bit more uncomfortable with my trading, I guess, because today is going to be the first day that I actually trade Asia session. So I'm going to be on the market today trading Asia session, and I think it's gotten to the point now where I want to expand as a trader, and I want to grow as a trader, and I want to improve my adaptability as a trader, because adapting as a trader is one of the main things. And as of recently, the New York AM session, in my opinion, has been genuinely horrendous. It's not even in my opinion, it's just factual. It's been terrible, right? And the people that I kind of look up to in the space of trading at the moment, like who I want to be very similar to when it comes to, not even similar to, obviously I want to be my own person, don't get me wrong, I'm not glazing these guys, but who I aspire to sort of get to a level of in the near future. These guys are adapting to market conditions. They're trading essentially Asia session when New York is bad. They're seeing that Asia session is being better. So as a logical thing to do, what are they going to do? They're going to trade Asia session instead. They're going to look at New York, expect trash. It is trash. Look at Asia. It's better. They're going to trade it, right? So what I'm going to be doing in the future from now on is I'm going to be uploading Asia recaps as well. And what I'm going to essentially, how I'm going to like act on the day when I come into the day of trading is, of course, I'm going to get on for my New York AM session. I'm going to look at it. I'm going to trade it. If it's good, if there's any good setups, of course, I'll take them. But if we have things like this, which is what we've been doing a lot this month, just like complete chop, and then I'm going to just completely close the session because it's not worth it, guys. Like, it's really not worth it. And I'm just going to hop on to Asia session. But of course, obviously, if I get my trade in New York AM session and I hit my take profit or my stop loss, I'm done for the day. If it's no trades and it looks like this, I'm going to hop on Asia session later. I'm going to see if that provides any more opportunity to potentially where I could capitalize off of. But yeah, like, honestly, just super disappointing with price action as of recently. There's nothing you can do about it. It's not like I'm crying or I'm mad about it. It's just very disappointing price action. And yeah, so time to grow as a trader, time to get a little bit more uncomfortable and put myself in scenarios like trading Asia, which I have never done before. Obviously, I do have some data on Asia, and I have backtested Asia like a good while back, but I haven't actually traded it because Asia is known to be slow. But I do feel that when it comes to the markets, there are certain times of the year when certain sessions are simply just better than others. Last month in like June in particular, June was just fantastic for New York AM session. New York AM session was actually printing almost like every setup. It was brilliant. Had a super high win rate. Literally lost like once that month, and I won like 6 times or 7 times, and then got break even like another 3 or 4 times ish. And then this month I've taken like 4 trades this month, and I've gotten break even on 3 and I lost 1, and like it's out of my control because I know I'm trading my model and I'm doing what I'm meant to be doing. But the New York AM session isn't always going to be the best session. As we cycle through different months within the year, you'll notice that there are certain sessions that perform better in certain months. And this month, Asia session has been the killer, I'm not going to lie. Especially end of July, beginning of August, Asia session has been what New York session was in June and January, February, March, April, May and June. In what New York AM was in May and June, that's what Asia is in end of July coming into August. So that's just like noticing and using logic, and stop being emotional saying, oh, well, I just trade New York, blah, blah, blah. Stop. Use your head, use logic, and when logic tells you otherwise, grow with it. Grow with it, learn from it, accept it, and move on. That's it. So for the rest, obviously, as I already said, I'm going to be trading Asia session from now on, because logic has told me that this month Asia session has just been that more high probability for the setups that I want to see, and New York hasn't been. Obviously, there are going to be some days within this month that New York does print, but more times than not this month so far. I think it's just really, really bad. So yeah, with that in mind, that's really it for today. Like, it was just like, there's not really, this was more of like a growing video for me, and just documenting my journey, of course, because this is what this entire YouTube channel is about, and this is a growing moment for me and the channel, of course, and for me as a trader in particular, to get a little bit uncomfortable, get out of my comfort zone, grow as a trader, become more adaptable, use logic better, and just keep growing. So not really much of a market recap today, guys, because as you can see, we literally did nothing. So yeah, except for that, I hope you guys enjoyed, and if you have any questions, leave it in the comments below. If you want to talk to me personally, I have my Instagram, TikTok, and Discord in the bio of this video. You guys can feel free to go check them out and shoot me a DM on any 3 of those platforms, and I will definitely respond. But except for that, I will catch you guys in the next video. And yeah, peace out and have a blessed rest of your day. Bye.